Well, back here, another edition of the Coach's Corner with head coach Steve Johnson. First off, Coach, congratulations, 250 win. Obviously, the big retirement announcement. But I think you know better than anyone that there's still a lot of football left to be played this year, including a big one this week. You'll say they're all big, and this one's fun to be back home. Rewind just a little bit, maybe sound like a broken record, but each week the defense just keeps getting better and better. I mean, shutting out Carleton, we think, hey, that might be our best defensive performance of the year. Then next week they kind of one up it.
Yeah, I love that broken record. And our defense is just playing. They're so fast, and we talk about playing fast. And when you know what to do, how to do it, and you've got confidence, the communication, these guys, it's like we're at practice and Coach Mack is getting them in different formations, and it's like if I'm on the other team, I'm like, these guys kind of know what they're doing, you know what I mean? And so they're just kind of buzzing together, and they're really fast. We've got good team speed there, and it's not like if the other team makes a play, it's like they don't get down or anything. Right. And Matt Young is just playing fantastic, and there's a whole bunch of guys you can just go with, but really proud of the way those guys are playing.
Well, I think specifically if you look back, at the numbers a little bit last week, all season long, it feels like, the rushing defense has just been spot on. Well, then this last week, you get a top 10 passer in the nation in Carleton, and you guys hold them to 90 yards to the air. Just talk a little bit about the schemes and kind of game planning as you went into this week for that, knowing you're going out against a really good passing offense.
Yeah, well, we know they're explosive. We need to line up right and make sure that they have to execute impeccably, and we can kind of they're all the tells that you get and all the different schemes. We want to match up to it, and you never know exactly what the formations are, but we've got to put the template of what we want to do. And you can't get too distracted by different things. But, all the time we want to stop the run first. And they don't try that much. And so that doesn't mean it's not done, but you have to start there. And our guys just played well, and they were prepared well. And so it is what it is. We almost had a pick on the first play. Yeah. And so 3 of our guys touched the ball and none of theirs. And I thought, this could be good.
Yeah. So, well, on the offensive side of the ball, obviously you kind of got to start by looking at Aaron Ellingson. I kind of think early in that first quarter, the offensive line basically just split the Red Sea, opened up a big hole for him, a 51-yard rushing touchdown, and that just kind of felt like that was kind of the Kickstarter of the day. He gets another, pass in the flat, has to go 80 yards. It goes down as a receiving touchdown, but really he ran all 80 yards of it. And just kind of talk about that connection between Aaron, George Bull playing really well right now, and then the offensive line just seems to be the glue to all of it.
Yeah, the offensive line is playing great. Coach Richards has those guys again, and there is that synchronization deal where those guys are just playing well together. They're protecting well. They're running guys over. We ran RPO where they're running like a zone scheme, and we end up the read gives you a throw into the flat, and so it's a 6-yard deal where our whole line, he could have added it off and got 6 yards because it was amazing. So those guys are playing great. Ellingson is McCaffrey. He is like, wow. He can catch the ball, run. He's big and he's fast, and he's bright. He's a really smart football player. And so Ellie is doing a great job. Mike continues to be terrific. Grits. All these guys they're just playing some really good football. Fisher Marburg and Ethan Saylor are playing well in the H slot. Those guys have to do a lot of things. They got to be an O-lineman one day and a receiver the next. And so those guys, and I'm just really proud of the way that they're staying together, and I feel like we're really still growing on the offense, but our offensive line gives us a chance to do that.
Well, looking forward to this weekend. No, not an unfamiliar position. The last, now it'll be 3 years in a row since we went to divisions. You're kind of been in this spot where it's a win and you're in this MIAC championship game. This time, last couple of years, it's been against Augsburg. This year, it's against Concordia. Tell us a little bit about how you game plan going into this week against a Cobblers team that has traditionally had some good battles with you guys here at home.
Well, Concordia is, they're a little like us. They kind of had some things that were, stumbling at first, and we had some injuries and some stuff that was happened to us and some stuff we didn't do well, but they're kind of gaining momentum now, and they're doing well. And Coach Horan he does a great job. So that program, they're always going to be, and they'll always get up for Bethel, and it's a big deal. I'm really glad it's home. Petey said this week there's 250 teams in D3 that I have 2 meaningless games, and we have 2 great ones.
Yeah.
So, it's a big deal. It's a big deal who wins. It's a big deal how we play.
Yeah.
You know, and if we execute well, things are gonna go well. But Concordia is really a good opponent. They really have a good mix. Their quarterback, they throw it well, but he can really run too. So they got kind of a 2-headed monster in the backfield. So it's going to be a good test for our D offense. And you know, one of the things we have to be patient and just kind of doing those things. I think it'll be a great crowd, and there's a lot at stake because it sets up a champion. We want to be, it's our number one thing. We want to be MIAC champs.
Right.
So an opportunity to play for that is awesome.
Super huge. Well, obviously this week, first and foremost, you got to go out and win a football game. 2, then we just want to remind fans a chance to stick around after the game, a chance to celebrate Coach Jay. And I think the big thing you might say is we're not just celebrating you, but man, I'm bringing all this alumni back together and being able to tell stories and stuff like that. That'll be in the Sports and Recreation Center after the football game. So you have to stick all the way through and keep the Royals on there. So we hope to see you in Arden Hills, Coach. Good luck. Gonna be a fun one. Bring those mittens, bring your stocking caps, and we'll come away with the W, hopefully.
All right, let's win the game. Can't wait.